Hello everyone and welcome to GeoLens. Have you seen it? It's been all over the news. At least my algorithm has been recommending this subject non-stop, but your algorithm might be enraging you in a different way. When the internet started, it created a global community, but now with algorithm segmentation, every single person might be experiencing social reality in a completely different way, adding that cherry on top of social alienation that we really needed. Back on track. Today's video is a wee bit different. I'll show how an industry I am not very fond of can make even more money. I know it's a necessary sector, but worldwide its sheer power created so much inefficiency that it's hard for me to ignore. I'm going to talk about the oil industry and especially about the one that has been popping up on my news feed, Alberta's oil. Last year, Alberta exceeded its quota of flaring by almost 13%. But what exactly is flaring? And what is Alberta? That's Alberta. It's roughly 5 times larger than England, and yet most people can't point it out on a map. And if it were a country, it would have the 4th largest proven oil reserves in the world. It's a wonder it hasn't been invaded yet in it. Now I've got some explaining to do. When we drill for oil, we also strike natural gas. But in order to use that gas, a drilling rig needs to be equipped with separator units that will sort out oil, water, gas, and hydrogen sulfide, the nastiest of the bunch. Not to mention tanks, compressors, pipelines, all sorts of heavy and bloody expensive equipment. So instead of dealing with the hassle, oil companies shoot up a flare to the nozzle of the oil rig and boom, it catches fire. Now back to the issue I've been seeing in the news about Canada's beautiful oily province. In 2023, oil companies operating in Alberta burnt through flaring 754 million cubic meters of natural gas. This is gas that doesn't generate electricity, it doesn't heat up households, and it doesn't become plastics. Yes, you can make plastics from natural gas. 750 million cubic meters of natural gas doesn't mean much without scale. That amount of natural gas could power up more than 300,000 American households for 1 year. That's more households than a corporate investor can evict in 3 months. Don't get me wrong, flaring is not all bad. It's still far better than simply venting that natural gas into the atmosphere. The numbers aren't precise because natural gas is a broad term for a mixture of volatile and hydrocarbon gas liquids, but you can safely estimate that they're between 20 to 80 times worse than carbon dioxide for the environment. So the matter is settled, right? After all, they found a solution to the issue of excessive natural gas that they can't recover by burning it on the spot. As a bonus, we get a byproduct that is orders of magnitude better for the environment than methane or higher alkanes. That's the main argument these companies make. They claim they're in the business of extracting oil, and that's it. Anything else they make with natural gas increases the complexity of their operations and cuts through their margins. Now, hear me out. What if these companies actually had an additional profit motive to utilize that natural gas? Many companies already use the extracted natural gas to power equipment at the drilling site. The main issue with this is that when they can finally use the natural gas, the drilling process itself is almost finished, so there's not much else to power up. My solution involves another industry that is both heavily unpopular and popular at the same time. Crypto. Yep, cryptocurrencies. Just burn the gas to generate electricity to power blockchains. This can easily recoup the costs of a more technologically sophisticated oil drilling operation, while at the same time actually using that excess natural gas for something. As a plus, oil companies are already despised, so them digging into crypto mining on the side instead of burning gas for nothing might at least create some jobs. And it's not like their reputation could get any worse. And some blockchains have very useful use case scenarios. For instance, Brazil developed a near-instantaneous banking transfer system that relies on blockchain and might be the most revolutionary usage of blockchain in finance I've ever seen. It easily puts to shame the banking system in North America as a whole. So why not incentivize oil companies to pursue this path? Everyone knows that in the West, pushing for legislation that makes these companies divert from self-interest is bloody near impossible. But pointing out that they're actually being quite obtuse by not using the natural gas they're burning to mine for crypto, well, that might steer them in the direction to actually complexify their operations. And in doing so, create more opportunities, more jobs, more well-being. Of course, this is an issue that plagues the oil industry worldwide, not only in Alberta. But as I mentioned before, what triggered my attention was the recent news about Alberta exceeding its quota of flaring. Are there better use scenarios for natural gas, instead of burning it to power up crypto blockchains? I have no doubt of that, but I have the lowest expectations you can possibly imagine from the oil sector. What I do know is that the only things that make them change are either intense political pressure or profit incentive. And sometimes all you need is for an idea to flare up. Until next time!